My mother-in-law tested me to see if I was good enough for her son. She thought I failed, but by the end of that night, she realized she had tested the wrong person. My name is Emily. I had been married to Daniel for 6 months, and his mother, Margaret, had never really accepted me. She was always polite, but every conversation felt like an interview. One evening, she invited us to dinner. After dessert, she looked directly at me and said, "Emily, if Daniel lost everything tomorrow, would you still stay with him?" I smiled. Of course, she nodded. Then let's find out. I thought she was joking. The next morning, Daniel came home early. He looked completely defeated. "I lost my job," he said. My heart sank. "How?" "My company is cutting staff. I'm one of them." I immediately hugged him. "It's okay. We'll figure it out." He looked surprised. Then Margaret called. Her voice was strangely calm. "Emily, Daniel didn't lose his job." I froze. "What?" "It was a test." I looked at Daniel. He wouldn't look at me. Margaret continued. "I wanted to see whether you'd stay with my son when he had nothing." I was furious. "You lied to me?" "Yes," and Daniel agreed. That was the moment something inside me broke. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply looked at my husband and asked, "Do you really agree to this?" Daniel finally looked at me. "I was scared you'd leave me someday." I shook my head. "You didn't test my love, Daniel. You tested my trust." I walked out, but the story didn't end there. The next morning, Margaret showed up at my apartment. She was holding an envelope. "I owe you the truth," she said. Inside were copies of Daniel's bank statements. I stared at them. There was something I hadn't known. For the last 6 months, Daniel had secretly been paying off a massive debt that he had never told me about. Margaret had discovered it weeks earlier. The job loss test wasn't really about his job. She wanted to know whether I would stay after discovering the truth about his finances. I looked at her and said, "So you were testing me twice?" She lowered her eyes. "Yes." I turned to Daniel. "You were afraid I'd leave you because of your debt?" He nodded. I took a deep breath. "I wouldn't have left because you were struggling." I paused. "But I might leave because you kept choosing lies instead of trusting me." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, Margaret looked ashamed. She whispered, "I thought I was protecting my son." I answered, "Sometimes protecting someone means trusting the person they chose to love." That night, Daniel finally told me everything, and I gave him one condition. No more tests. No more secrets. "If we're going to stay married, we face our problems together," he agreed. And Margaret, she never tested me again because she finally understood something simple. I hadn't failed her son. Her son had almost failed the woman who was willing to stand beside him.